Have you ever been talking with someone you're close to, answering their questions, smiling at the right moments, saying things that sound completely fine, and still knowing there's a whole part of what you're feeling that never leaves your head? And today, we're looking at why that happens. Why some people hide their true feelings, even from the people they're closest to. It's a weeknight. You're home after work, standing in the kitchen while the microwave hums in the background. Your phone lights up with a message from someone you care about, asking how your day went. You type out a reply, pause, delete it, and send something simpler instead. Busy but okay. That answer isn't wrong. It just leaves a lot out. From the outside, everything looks normal. You respond. You're polite. You stay engaged. If someone were watching, they'd see someone who seems steady and easy to be around. No obvious stress, no emotional spillover, just someone moving through their routine. But internally, there's more happening. People tend to think that hiding feelings means there's a problem with trust, that if you're truly close to someone, you should naturally open up. From a distance, that idea sounds reasonable. But in everyday American life, it doesn't always line up with how people actually live. Most days are full. Work doesn't end when you leave the office. Messages follow you home. Conversations happen in between errands, chores, and notifications. Even with people you care about, there's often a quiet pressure to keep things manageable, light enough to fit into an already crowded day. That context matters. People who keep their feelings to themselves are often very aware of timing. They notice when someone else is tired, distracted, or already carrying a lot. They sense when a moment doesn't have room for anything heavier. So they adjust, they edit, they share the version of themselves that feels easiest for the situation. The truth is, that ability usually develops for a reason. In many workplaces, being emotionally steady is rewarded. At home, being the calm one can keep things from escalating. Over time, holding things in stops feeling like a choice and starts feeling like how you function. And once something becomes your default, it's hard to see it clearly. From a scientific perspective, expressing emotions takes real effort. Not in an abstract way, but in very practical terms. You have to organize your thoughts, choose your words, and anticipate how someone might respond. After a long commute, a full inbox, or a day of constant interaction, that effort can feel heavier than the emotion itself. So people delay it. They say they're busy instead of overwhelmed. They joke about being fine instead of explaining why they're not. They tell themselves they'll talk about it later when they have more energy. That's not dishonesty, it's energy management. People also tend to believe that sharing feelings always brings closeness. The truth is, it can also bring responsibility. Once something is said out loud, it changes the dynamic. It invites follow-up conversations, emotional availability, and attention. And not every moment feels like the right one for that shift. Think about a shared family calendar on the fridge. There's only so much space to write. If everything goes on it, it becomes cluttered. Some things stay off the calendar, not because they don't matter, but because keeping it readable helps the household run smoothly. This pattern has real strengths. People who hold their feelings closely are often thoughtful and observant. They don't speak impulsively. They tend to be reliable when things get difficult. And when they do open up, it's usually intentional and considered. But there are limits. When feelings stay unspoken for too long, they don't disappear. They just remain internal. Over time, that can create distance. Not dramatic distance, subtle distance. Conversations stay on the surface. There's a sense of not being fully seen, even by people who care. Not because others aren't listening, because they don't have the full picture. People often assume that hiding feelings means someone doesn't trust the people around them. In many cases, it's the opposite. They care deeply. They don't want to add weight to someone else's already full day. So they carry it themselves. That isn't weakness, it's adaptation. But adaptation has trade-offs. When someone is always fine, others eventually stop asking deeper questions. Not out of neglect, but out of habit, and that quiet distance can be hard to reverse. Later that evening, you're back in the kitchen. The microwave is off now. The apartment is quiet. You scroll through your messages and consider sending something more honest. You don't. Not because you can't, but because you're choosing when. And that choice is the key. Hiding feelings isn't about secrecy. It's about control, about deciding what gets shared, when and with whom. In a fast, crowded world, that control can feel protective, but it can also feel lonely. So the question isn't whether hiding your feelings is right or wrong. It's whether there's a place where those feelings eventually feel welcome. If this way of moving through the world feels familiar, you might want to subscribe and explore the next one here. There are a few more patterns like this, and I'm always curious which parts people recognize in themselves.